Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we will be going through the 2014 movie, The Last Survivors. It's time to recall. Let's get started, turn on subtitles, and spoilers ahead. The movie starts and we learn that 10 years after rain ceases to fall, Oregon has turned into a dry wasteland. Survivors spend their time desperately trying to locate enough water to stay alive and avoiding hostile scavengers. We then see a girl named Kendall who is with a friend named Dean. Dean is on the verge of kidney failure and Kendall wants to take him out of this place. She is in a secluded area and it is not easy for her to get out of there. She wants to take Dean to a camp where he could get treated. It is not easy to go from one place to another because there is always a group of scavengers roaming around and they can capture anyone they see. We see that Kendall also has a radio and she keeps herself updated with what has been going on around her. In that radio, she often gets to hear that everyone is asking for help. She gets to hear things like some people have not been able to have any water since 10 days, some have thirsty for even more than that. One day, the two of them are sitting together when they hear someone approaching. Kendall sees that there are two men approaching her farm, and she, along with Dean, quickly hides in the attic. The man looks around for a while, but he does not find anything, and then decides to leave without checking the attic. Kendall then goes downstairs to check if they left anything there, but when he looks around, she finds a girl. The girl is scared and Kendall also startles at the sight of another human being out of nowhere. She takes the girl on gunpoint and asks her what she is doing there. The girl begs Kendall to give her some water, saying her feet are badly injured and she just wants a sip of water. Kendall gives her the bottle of water. The girl's name is Sky, and Kendall tells her that if she wants to stay at the farm, she is welcome, but Sky says that she has to go. There is her sister's farm a little further away from this place and she needs to get there. Sky then offers Kendall to come to her sister's farm, but Kendall refuses, saying that she has a plan and she wants to execute that plan. In this farm, we go on to see that Kendall has a plane and she has been trying to repair it. She says that if she is able to repair this plane, she will be able to get out of this place. Kendall's plan is to fly out of this dry place and get to an area that is green and full of water as well. This is why she has been staying in this dump and has been trying to fix the plane. Kendall then goes on to give Sky a bottle of water and Sky leaves. That night, she is with Dean listening to the radio when they hear that a woman's house had been raided by some people and she needs help. Kendall decides that she is going to help this woman because she has a gun and the house of that woman is not far from where Kendall lives. When she gets there, she sees that a trap has been set in place by a man named Carson. Carson happens to have his own water compound and he wants to kill all the owners of the farms in the area and get his hands on their farms. He wants to kill them because he thinks that these people are also able to get the water from the bottom of the earth, and if they kept doing that, this will one day take all the water and his compound will then be empty. As Kendall hides from Carson and his men, he goes on to kill the whole family, and Kendall is not able to do anything. The next day, when she is on her way back to her place, she comes across a car that has been abandoned. She takes out some parts from the engine, thinking she might be able to fit these parts in the plane. However, when she later tries to fit it with the plane's engine, it does not fit and she is really disappointed. That night, they notice that their water supply has also started to lessen and there is barely any water coming out of the tap. As the local wells go dry, Dean theorizes that Carson has drilled to the aquifer and is draining everyone's water supply. Dean goes on to say that because of his kidney condition, he needs water all the time, and if he does not have it, he is going to die soon. Dean then goes on to tell Kendall that she should just leave him here because he is going to die anyway. He tells her to go to one of his uncle's farms, saying it is not far from here. Kendall will just have to travel 3 days and she'll be there. Dean says that if she does go there, she is going to be safe. Kendall, however, refuses to abandon him. They have been together since they were little kids, and Dean has already lost his sister whom they have buried in the farm. The next day, Kendall goes out to ask a boy named Gabriel for help, and we learn that he has a crush on Kendall. On the way, she finds Sky's dead body. She is shocked to see her head, and some other people in the area also gather there. A woman named Grace says that all the wells are going dry, and if it keeps on going that way, they're all going to be dead soon. She says that they should join Carson right away and do as he demands. They also go on to tell Kendall that she should also be working for Carson if she wants to survive, and another man there tells her that Carson also happens to have some medicines through which Dean can be treated as well. Grace urges Kendall to accompany her and Gabriel, as she also believes Carson has medicine that can help Dean. Kendall remains skeptical and hides when Carson arrives. Carson abruptly kills Gabriel's entire family, saying that everyone but Gabriel is either too old or infirm to save based on the limited amount of water available. Kendall is still hiding as Carson keeps killing people like animals. He then goes on to talk to Gabriel, asking him if there is anyone else hiding nearby, but Gabriel tells him that there is no one out there. Though horrified, Gabriel reluctantly agrees and turns in a relative who is also hiding, but he still does not turn in Kendall. Kendall then moves away from Carson from behind, and when she is about to get out of there, a man comes in front of her and tries to attack her, but she shoots the man with her gun and leaves. She manages to get to her farm alive. This is the farm where that plane is, and we see that a kid also resides in that farm. He is alone, and he comes to Kendall. Kendall has made a promise to this kid that when she is able to repair this plane, she will take him with her as well. Kendall has told this kid to live with her many times, but he refuses, saying he wants to live alone. Kendall then goes to Dean and tells him that Carson is gradually killing all of the people in the area. He wants very few people to live because of the lack of water resources. That day, Dean is really missing his sister, and he goes on to tell Kendall to take him to her grave. He goes there, and when he stands there, he tells Kendall that when he dies, she is supposed to burn him and not bury him, because if she buried him in this place, she might never be able to leave this place because he knows how loyal she is. The next morning, when he steps out of the house, she sees Carson's men out there, and she quickly goes inside to hide. Carson always thinks that someone lives in this farm because there is a water pump out there. Carson then shouts, saying whoever's in this house, they are supposed to get out. Kendall quickly goes into the attic where Dean is. Carson's men are now inside the house, and they have a device through which they can sense humans if they are nearby. This device is, however, not able to trace these two because they quickly cover themselves with foil paper. He then goes on to pollute the whole house with poisonous gas, but Kendall and Dean have special masks. They right away go on to wear those masks, and the gas does not affect them at all. Carson and his men are now sure that there is no one in there, so Carson goes on to put his mark in this place and leaves. His mark on the house means that this farm belongs to him now. Carson's daughter is also there, and when she is about to get out of this place with her dad, she notices a paper on the window and she suspects something. She, however, does not say anything, and they leave. As time goes, life gets harder and harder in that area, and Kendall finds it hard to survive anymore because the well is now dry. She does not have any water, but she does not tell this to Dean. She picks up his gun and makes her way to the place where Carson lives. It is a heavily guarded area. She sees a big car there and thinks that she can retrieve that spare part from this car and manage to repair the plane with that. She tries to figure out a way to get in there, but the place is heavily guarded, and when she is about to turn back, a man catches her. Before he is able to alert the others, she goes on to kill him. She goes home and is really worried as she has to come up with some way to get water or get her friend out of this place. She sees 3 people approaching her farm. Kendall gives these people some water to drink and they offer her to come with them. She, however, refuses to go with them and they leave. Later, Dean finds out that their well has now gone dry and they have no water supply anymore. Kendall tells him that she has stored some water, adding that they can survive another week if they are careful. Kendall now stops drinking water and gives as much water as she can to Dean because if he does not drink enough water, he is going to die. Kendall then goes on to tell him that she saw a car at Carson's compound and she is positive that this car contains what she needs to repair that plane. He then tells her of a way through which she can get that spare part. She goes to the compound again, and through a lighted lighter in there, the next thing we see, there is a big fire and all the security guards rush towards that place to get the fire out. She takes advantage of that distraction and gets to that car. She then takes out the part, and as she looks at it, her eyes light up. She finally has the right spare part. She rushes home and tells Dean that she has it. She says that they are going to repair that plane and will be out of this place soon. Dean is also happy, but when Kendall goes downstairs to make her way to the plane, the 3 people who came the previous day, they're there again. They ask Kendall for some water again, and Kendall is suspicious this time. This is when another man comes out of hiding and hits her on the head with a road. She is knocked unconscious, and when she wakes up, she is tied up. These people tell her that they are there to take all the water she has. When they are about to leave, the woman is just about to shoot Kendall when Dean shows up and shoots all 4 of them. He unties Kendall, but when he looks up, he sees Carson's people approaching. He goes on to put Kendall in a broken car and tells her that he is going to take care of these people, but she is not supposed to get out of this car at any cost, even if he dies. Carson is also there along with his daughter. His daughter goes on to say that she knew someone lived in that house. Carson is shocked to see Dean as he says that this boy cannot even walk. How on earth did he manage to kill 3 people? They then start looking around the house. Carson goes on to say that there must be someone else in the house, but his men are not able to find Kendall. This is when Dean starts shooting Carson's men and manages to kill many of them before they all start shooting at him and finish him off. Kendall realizes that Dean has been killed. She cries a lot because he was the only friend she had. She, however, still does not come out of the car. After killing one of his men who has become wounded and thus a liability, Carson expresses regret that he is not able to save more of the survivors. His lieutenant, a man in priest's garb, reassures him that what they do is for the greater good. Kendall once again escapes after hiding from Carson's men and retrieves a katana from one of the graves at Grace's farm. Now armed, she returns to the house and kills the men left behind to search it, including the priest, and when Kendall goes on to take the other man's mask off, she is shocked to see that it is Gabriel, the very boy who used to like her and they used to enjoy each other's company. She can't do anything about it because he is already dead. Kendall then decides that it is time for her to leave. When she checks on Albie, the young boy whom she promised to take with her on the plane, she goes to invite him to escape with her on the plane, only to discover that Carson has abducted him. She attacks Carson's compound and kills all his henchmen. When only Kendall, Carson, his daughter, and Albie remain, Carson attacks Kendall, but she kills him with the katana. Brooke, Carson's daughter, nearly defeats Kendall by putting her in a chokehold. Kendall breaks free just before passing out and stabs Brooke with the sword. She and Albie go to the plane, and after inserting the distributor cap, start it up. As they board the plane, Albie asks about Dean, and Kendall says that he is staying behind. And with that, the movie comes to an end. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.